Look at fucking Steve's face. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy here, Dante. So I decided to record a video on my own, and it was a video I came across on Facebook with Steve Harvey and Neil deGrasse. Sorry if I completely botched his last name, but came across this video, and it really intrigued me because again, it's this debate whether science or religion. So without further ado, we're just gonna jump right into these motherfucking videos, guys.
Book. It's called Letters from an Astrophysicist.
Yeah, yeah.
And you asked, what happened was a lot of people was writing you letters and asking you
Like
tough
I was,
questions.
strangers write to me like I was their best friend.
And so you took all these letters and put them in a book.
I've been doing it for 30 years. Under the hood. Most people would never know that that's what I was doing. They just see me.
I'm sorry, but every time I see that part, it gets me because it almost seems like he was looking for an acknowledgement for that, which he should, you know, accumulating 30 years worth of information from random people, just talking to, random people for over 30 years and, accumulating that for your book or however you use that knowledge or whatever it is. Like, that's impressive, because, a lot of people, when they hit a certain point in their stardom, fame, or career, they, hit this ego, so they kind of just stop responding to people. And to consistently stay devoted to these people for over 30 years, I mean, yeah, he did. He definitely does deserve a round of applause for that. I'm not gonna lie.
On YouTube videos and on TV doing public stuff. But underneath there, I've had one-on-one exchanges with people who are in some deep point of angst in their life. They're trying to find a path that they want to take. And I think most people have never even met a scientist in their lives, much less claim one as their friend. So to have these letters come in, it's a huge responsibility because they're thinking of me as their friend.
Right.
With a 10-year-old son who's on the autism spectrum, takes him to Hebrew school every week, and one day he came home and said he doesn't believe in God. And she asked him, why don't you believe in God? He said, because I've been watching Cosmos. Okay. So I said, okay, the rest of the
did you say?
Not gonna lie to you guys, I actually watched Cosmos for a while. Especially like early 2014, 15. Yeah, I was a Cosmos head for real. Like, I was watching him all the time, explaining things and stuff like that. Yeah, I will say, like, it's a pretty good show. You guys should watch it if you haven't watched it yet.
So the rest of this letter, I said, is not going to end well if this is how it's beginning. But she said that she respects her son. And she doesn't want him to believe something that might not be true. And she focused primarily not so much on whether God exists or not, but on the Bible stories that he was rejecting. He said he believes in science. And so she asked me, can science and God coexist? And what she wants to be a good mother, how should she handle this?
Does a person have to choose between God and science?
Yeah, my personal take on that question, no, there is no difference. It's all the same. I will say that science is the explanation of life. Science explains how everything works, and religion is more of how you should live morally. Because in religion, we don't need to worry about that. It's God doing this, and that, and the third. And there's nothing wrong with looking for that information of why this, and that, and the third. But we know the ultimatum answer to that, so we don't tend to full on dig into certain scenarios because we know what it is. We have that higher bar that we look into to say, like, okay, it was God and stuff like that. And no, science is the same way. Like, if you're ever wondering why this ball falls, is it because God is telling it to fall, or is it because of gravity? You know what I'm saying? And I don't see the difference. I honestly don't. I don't. So what I think the problem is that a lot of people think of God as this fairy tale genie that's gonna come down and give you presents and blessings anytime you wish and pray for it. Like, no matter what you got going on, as long as you know, wish on a star for it, and God's gonna come down and do this for you. Like, no, it's not like that, you know. And it kind of sucks that we're in this day and age where talking about religion is now kind of looked down upon, and you kind of made fun of for being religious. Like, you see a guy being religious, and you know, you will see a group of people like, oh man, look at this guy, he's reading the Bible, being all Christian and stuff like this, or whatever, whatever religion they decide to be in. So it kind of sucks to be religious sort of nowadays, because you slightly get discriminated against just because of what you believe in. And I don't know, it does suck. It does suck. But yeah, you can live with both. I don't see the difference. There is no difference between science and religion.
It depends on what your belief in God has you also believe in society.
Yeah, I actually agree with that point. I have a strong belief that no matter what religion that you are in, you guys will always have a different version of what God is. You will always perceive things differently from the other person. You can have two Christians in a room, two Muslims, two Jews, and you can ask them the same question, and a lot of the times they will tend to defer from what they think God would do because of their own perception of what God is and how he is. So it's a personal thing what it is to you, you know what I mean? Like, God has a personal relationship with each and every person. That's how we view it in religion.
For example, for the longest while, anyone who fell on the ground writhing, frothing at the mouth, they were clearly occupied by the devil. So what happened? You get the exorcist priest. They come over, got the holy water, and they chant some Latin words, and then the symptoms dissipate. They got that. They got rid of the devil. Well, of course, it's not the devil. It's epilepsy. We see this. We know what that is.
Right. So that is a valid, you know, statement to say that we can explain some of these things that we think that are unexplainable. But again, I want to use your own analogy against you. If someone, random dude, comes up to you, sprinkles some water on you while you're having an epilepsy episode, while you're having one of these episodes, guy comes up to you and he sprinkles some water on you and says some things in Latin, and then what do you know, the episode goes away. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen if you go and do that, so please go seek medical profession if someone is having an episode. But I just think it's kind of a little bit of a weird coincidence, you know, this whole period of this epileptic episode is happening right when this priest comes over, says what he says, do what he does, you're fine. Now, you can, granted, you can say that, oh, this was just a time period of how long that episode was going to last. And I mean, is that like that every single time? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure there were some instances where the priest was doing stuff and it wasn't working. I can say a million things of why it wasn't working, but we just gonna leave it at that. You know, I can say 1,000 things of why it wasn't working. Oh, he wasn't believing hard enough. He wasn't doing this. Oh, he didn't say the right words or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't there, so I can't really say. But, you know, basically what I'm just saying is that using your own analogy, saying that some guy comes up and do what he does and your symptoms goes away, like, to me, that's still saying more than saying, like, oh, well, we know what epilepsy is, and we know how to treat it, and this and that and the third. But what about those times where you know what it is, you know how to treat it, and what your treatment is doing is not helping? We've run into that multiple times in science and medical and all that. So in psychology and all that, you know what's wrong with this person. You can easily diagnose it. You can give him all the pills, or she or whoever, all the pills and stuff like that, and it's still not working. I mean, that's just how it is, you know?
This
We
dude
have
right here.
we have medicines for this. Okay, so if your belief in God is so strong and so widespread that your holy books from thousands of years ago are informing your understanding of the natural world in modern times, that could make conflict.
I believe it.
How? How? I have generations and generations of knowledge compared to what science have. Like, religion has been recording history before science has. Before anybody genuinely got into science or anything, religion has been the number one thing that helped a lot of people through all this. You can say science this and science that, but what was helping these people when they were back then in the past? There was no housing, no toilets, and no doctors to help you when you get an infection and stuff like this. How did not the entire human population not die off without the use of medicine, science, and all this that we know now? How did the human population not die off by then, you know? I mean, ask yourself that question.
I believe God created heaven and earth. She said, well, scientifically, it's been proven that it came from a cosmic dust that spun into a ball of gas and it cooled off. I said, okay, it cooled off and we had earth. That's what she said. I said, okay, let me ask you something. Where did cosmic dust come from? And then she said, it's part of the universe. I said, where did the universe come from? She says, part of the galaxy. I said, where did the galaxy come from? I'm just trying to get to where something formed something.
We can do that. We say, where did dust come from? It came from the cores of stars. And where did that come from? And then ultimately we get to the Big Bang. Then you say, well, where did the Big Bang come from? And I said, I have no idea. It's a frontier of science. We've got top people working on it.
I'm sorry, but that comment just gets me because it's like your whole basis of why you don't believe in God is just a theory. Like, of your whole basis of what you're basing your entire life off of, saying that, like, oh, God isn't real, but your whole explanation is just a theory. Now, don't get me wrong, the Big Bang Theory is a well thought out hypothesis. They can run numbers, they can run simulations and stuff like that, you know, and they can get the results and stuff like that. But again, it's just a theory. We genuinely don't know, and it kind of sucks that, like, he's saying, like, oh, you know, if you're gonna believe in religion and stuff like that and God, you know, you have to dig deep into that. Well, it's the same with science. You can't believe everything that's being said to you in science. You yourself have to dig deep within what you're being told, because what you're being told could be wrong. I mean, shit, thousands of years ago, the most world's smartest people thought the world was flat. The world's smartest people. Think about that. People who would shut you up the minute you said the earth was round or anything like that. The world's smartest people were telling you that the earth was flat. So it speaks volume, you know, when you yourself don't dig into what you are claiming what is you.
And now, you want to put God there. I don't have a problem with that. But why won't you allow me to ask you, where did God come from?
Well, I mean, I can answer that. I mean, it's said in the Quran, it says that God had no creation. He is just. And we've seen that happen within the scientific world. Atoms cannot be created nor destroyed. They are just. They are what they are, just like God is. He is just God. I don't know. I don't know the story of God yet, you know, and I can't really speak too much on it because I don't want to sound ignorant, but again, he kind of answers that question for you. I don't have a mother or a father. I was not born. I am just, that's just saying like the atoms. We don't know where atoms came from. They are just. It's literally the same thing. There's no difference between science and religion. You guys eventually see it, I hope.
Well, guess what? You ain't got no answer to where the Big Bang comes from.
Not yet.
Well, you ain't finna have one.
Say to him too, shit, we don't have an answer to where God comes from. Well, technically we do because he told us, but for your sake, we can say that we don't know where God come from, and we don't know yet, and there's a possibility that we will, which we have, which has been said, but for your sake, we'll just say we don't know.
I'm not here to argue whether
No,
God
I ain't
exists.
arguing. I know you believe in that. I know you. No, I ain't arguing. But just your science stuff.
I'm just saying, if your list of things that you provide that we don't have a good answer for, and that's where God resides within you,
The unexplained.
you have to be ready for the moving frontier of science to then answer those questions.
Yes.
And if that's how you want your relationship to God to be, you have to be prepared for what you understand God to be an ever shrinking pocket of scientific ignorance.
Look at fucking Steve's face. I get what he's saying when he's coming from with that comment, but it is not true. Again, this is basically proving my point of people thinking of God as this fairy magical genie being in the sky that's gonna come down and grant you whatever wish that you want. It's not like that. He is the most logical being in the universe. This is a being that knows everything. So why would I begin to have ignorance for science when I am now listening to someone who literally knows everything? Like, I'm not going to listen to some people who are scraping at scraps on the floor when someone who is cooking the meal knows how to cook the meal and go get all the things to make the meal and makes the meal. I'm going to listen to this person than someone picking up the scraps on the floor that fell from the pieces of what he was cooking.
So I'm saying,
What gets me? What gets me about this? What gets me about this is that even Steve didn't understand what he was saying. Like, even he was like, "Huh?" Hey, look, that's funny because it didn't make sense. What are you talking about, bro? If there's more I can understand in slapping in God into these places I don't understand, then now I'm gonna start having more knowledge, because of my spirituality. Now, I get what he's saying. Again, I get what he's saying when you say, like, when you try to explain the Big Bang Theory and you slap God on it, and then it's like, oh, well, we have all this data and knowledge and stuff like that. We can recreate the Big Bang and blah, 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 blah. So it's just like, what now? So, yeah, I mean, I get where he's coming from. But at the same time, this is coming from someone who don't know who God is. This is someone who maybe read the Bible once when he was a kid, growing up, probably grew up a little bit religious and saw a couple things he didn't like in the Bible and decided to go full on science. I mean, hey, man, you are on your own spiritual journey. I'm not here to judge you, so do your thing. But I feel like that's kind of what happened. What kind of happens with a lot of people. They grow up with a religion and they kind of start growing up and start disagreeing with certain parts of the religion. So they ultimately come to the conclusion that it's not real. Well, how I view religion is that a fact is a fact. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. So when you put it in the realms of saying God is the almighty, all-knowing being, well, that kind of fixes everything, because when you have someone who knows everything, I literally know everything of how to create and make and do this and that and the third. I mean, science is not so far off. I mean, I know how to create suns. I know how to create human beings. Like, I know the formula. I know what the steps to take. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is something that knows everything, So, again, he's not a genie in the sky waiting to grant you your wishes.
Was it in Job or
Here we go. We got church people.
no? If you don't get, I got church people out here. Which part where God lists, God's judgment gets questioned. God says, gives a whole list.
See how he fixes himself, right? God's judgment gets. Hey, internally, he could not finish what he wanted to say. He can say, like, oh, yeah, there were other women in the crowd and other people religious, and I didn't want to upset them. But at the end of the day, we all know when a fact is a fact, who gives a fuck about your feelings? It's a fact. Like, it's nothing that can be done about it. If you feel some type of way about something, oh fucking well, you can't change the fact that 2 + 2 = 4. You can not like the fact that it equals 4, but at the end of the day, it's still gonna fucking equal 4.
It's the thing that Job can't explain. It's a joke. Thank you. We got some church ladies in the back right there.
I told you they was here.
Okay.
Because they rocking back and forth. They gonna jump on your ass in the parking lot. Bring your little scientific ass over here. Tell you something.
Brian gonna hold you. That laugh was so motherfucking fake. All I'm saying is, hey, look, you couldn't wait to get back to his point. He couldn't wait to get back to his point.
Of things that nobody understood at the time about the natural world. So you can look at that list today and say, okay, we got this, we understand that, we got this. There's a couple we don't fully understand yet, but we're working our way on that list and other lists. So I'm just saying that I will recommend to you that God needs to be something deeper to you than just whether a statement in the Bible matches what science shows today.
Again, it brings me to the point I was making earlier. It's the same with science. You have to be able to dig within to science and not just ultimately believing what you're seeing on paper. This has to be your own journey finding out what it is truth and what is fake. And it's the same with religion. Whatever religion it is that you believe in, dig deep into it. Don't just believe in what's on the surface. Dig deeper into it. There's more to both science and religion. They both go down these really deep rabbit holes, and that's why I don't see a difference between the two. They coexist, and there never was a difference. So I agree with that. If you believe in anything or whatever it is in life that you are doing with your life, believe in it. 110%. Believe in it. Do it, Don't just, because someone else told me, I read a little bit, it made a little bit of sense, so I'm believing it. No. Do your full research, because it never should come to a point where someone's asking you about your religion, something about your religion, and you're saying, I don't know. Nobody wants to run into these moments, so I will definitely tell you whatever it is you believe in it 110%.
God needs to be something deeply more spiritual to you than just thinking of the Bible as a science textbook. That's all I'm saying.
Check this out. I believe in science. I really do. It's limited knowledge that I have about science.
It's kind of like my whole thing too. Like, science is very limited in so many ways, but yet it is held in such a holy grail, like, type thing, you know what I mean? Like, people follow science as if it is a religion. Like, to me personally, I feel like science is a religion, you know? Science can do that to you. You read something in a book and then you're just ultimately, yes, that's how it is, you know? And that's not how you should live your life, you know? You should always dig deep into things that you are interested in, especially things that that has to do with you in your life. Dig deep, man, dig deep. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video here. Like and subscribe, guys. Please like and subscribe. I am trying to hit that 1,000 followers. Not me, we, the Epic Muffins team. We are trying to hit this 1,000 subscribers so we can start making money. I don't want to be poor anymore. Hey, real shit. Subscribe, man, because you guys are gonna start seeing some really high quality, good content, and I want to give you guys some good, raw, unedited. Well, it's gonna be edited because I say a lot of stupid things. But I want to give you guys the best type of content, the most authentic type of content coming from us, and you will see that soon. So I hope you guys be easy, stay safe, and I will see you Epic Muffin Tears once again.